Greetings, everyone. Hope all of you are having an absolutely fantastic day. Larian has released new information about multiple origin characters that you can play in Baldur's Gate 3. I thought it would be interesting to walk through that information, but obviously it might be light spoilers for you. So if you want to go into the game completely fresh, not knowing anything about it, this video isn't for you. For the rest of us, let's go ahead and go through these one by one. I'll read the new descriptions and then give you my thoughts. I haven't looked through these carefully before, but I've just seen a couple of comments saying that at least for Wyll, Karlach, and perhaps Gale, there's definitely new information. But for those of us who haven't read it at all, I figured it'd be nice to go through it anyway. Since I haven't looked at it, maybe there's a lot of you who haven't looked at it as well. Let's start with Astarion. He's a rogue and called a vampire spawn. Astarion prowled the night as a vampire spawn for centuries, forced to follow the orders of his sadistic master, Cazador, seduce every fool with a pulse, and lure them back to Cazador's lair. Free for now, Astarion will do anything to keep his life in the light. He can see but one way to ensure his liberty for good, become many times more powerful than his old abuser could ever dream of being. His body is forever tainted by the intricate pattern scarring Cazador carved upon his back, and the elder vampire seems set on sending out waves of hunters seeking to capture his lost spawn. So, pretty cool stuff. I think that pretty much falls in line with what we already know about Astarion. He has his vampire master who he's trying to escape. I really hope that Baldur's Gate 3 gives us an authentic vampire experience. I've mentioned it several times before, but I'll say it again. Huge fan of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, and I don't feel like we've really gotten a great vampire game since then. So I'm really hoping a playthrough as Astarion is going to scratch that itch for me. And I actually like the setup for it. I like that there's another powerful vampire he's trying to fight against, and that he's trying to gain more power. Out of all of the origin characters, I think Astarion is probably the one who's going to be the most open to using the tadpole powers more and just basically giving in so that the tadpole can give him enough power where he can stay free. So really interesting stuff. Looking forward to experiencing it in the game. Next up is Gale. He's a wizard and actually tagged as a wizard prodigy. What's a god to a world-class wizard? Gale was once a formidable archmage in Waterdeep, but pushed his relationship with the goddess Mystra too far. Failing to usurp his former lover's godhood, the goddess stole Gale's magics away and cursed him with the Neverese Orb, a dangerous artifact with enough magical potential energy in it to level a city if it were allowed to escape. Beyond learning the lesson for his hubris, Gale has now become beset with concern for the danger he poses to others around him, and is worried that if he undergoes Ceramorphosis, the angry orb can imperil countless lives if he can't neutralize it first. So I'm not all that impressed with Gale from a personality standpoint, which is why you've probably heard me ribbing on him sometimes in my video, but I love the setup for his story. I played early access when it first came out, and so I saw at least some of this information, so it wasn't a surprise for me. And yeah, I think it's super cool. I think it's really cool. Wraps him up in the lore of D&D and makes you very interested in finding out more about him. But again, his personality and even to some degree his voice acting, it just doesn't do it for me. And so that's why I'm not like crazy excited as Gale, but more than likely he will be one of the party members in our Shadowheart live stream of the game. So definitely looking forward to getting more information about what's going on with him. Next up is Lae'Zel, a fighter, and she's tagged as Ferocious Warrior. Crashed down to the Sword Coast from the stars. Lae'Zel is a fierce warrior, even by the standards of militant Githyanki society. When faced with the possibility of becoming a mind flayer, the monster she has dedicated her life to defeating, she must prove her worth and earn the right to rejoin her people. if they don't execute her first. Will Lae'Zel's strength and determination be enough to prove herself to Queen Vlaakith, or must she walk another path in exile? I love that Larian has added Githyanki into the game. I'm a huge fan of being able to play with cool, distinctive races in the game. That's part of the reason I still love Dragon Age Inquisition. Being able to play as a Qunari was such an amazing experience. And I'm looking forward to what this game is like going through the entire thing as a Githyanki. Even now in the live stream of early access we're doing, I'm playing as a Githyanki Paladin, and it has been absolutely worthwhile. The Githyanki specific responses have all been great. The reactivity to them have been great. My conversations with Lae'Zel have been great. It's just readily apparent that Larian didn't just throw Githyanki into the game. They really put some effort into trying to make sure it was a distinctive experience, and I absolutely cannot wait to experience it more. I'm actually a big fan of Lae'Zel. I know there's a lot of people who don't like her, feel like she's rude, feel like she's very aggressive, but I'm a big fan of, if you're going to be around me, I want to know what you're thinking. I want to know what's on your mind, and I want to know that I can trust you. And to me, Lae'Zel always tells you what she's thinking. If you've pissed her off, she's straight up about it. You know, if she likes what you're doing, she's straight up about that as well. Hey, I'll take it. I'll take it. People keep talking about they don't want her to be behind them because they're afraid she'll stab them in the back, but if she's going to stab you in the back, you probably already know. So I don't see what the problem is. Next up is Shadowheart. She's a cleric, and they tag her as loyal warrior. Loyal? I don't get the sense that Shadowheart is loyal, but maybe I haven't talked with her enough. A devoted cleric of Shar, goddess of darkness and loss, Shadowheart agreed to have her memories wiped as part of a holy mission. Now its sole survivor, she must deliver a powerful relic back to her kin in order to win Shar's love and have her memories restored. But all the while, she is tormented by strange, painful magic that she struggles to understand. So there are a lot of theories out there about what's actually going on with Shadowheart. I don't feel like we get enough information in Act 1 to know what's going on with her. I'll be honest, the fascination and fandom that has circled around Shadowheart doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, she's cool. I'm gonna play her. You know, the channel voted, so you know we'll find out. But just from what we've been shown so far, she does not wow me, and I am not nearly as high on her as other people seem to be. But you know what? Maybe by the time I get through with the live stream, where we're going to be playing as her, my perception will completely change and it'll all make sense to me. Next up on the list is Wyll, warlock and a living legend. From a scion of a famed Baldurian house to a life of adventure on the road, Wyll's life as the monster hunter called the Blade of Frontiers has made him one of the beating hearts of the Sword Coast. While he has done great deeds for the coast's people, the source of his power remains secret. The Camian Mizor drew Wyll into a warlock's pact in a moment with many lives at stake, and cursed him with the duty of hunting her enemies. Mizor only asked Wyll to sacrifice devilish creatures to her, but a Camian's ambitions are ever fickle, and Wyll wishes to escape the pact before its price grows cruel. So that's interesting. Okay, so this gives us more information about why Wyll wants to kill Karlach. They just mentioned during the panel from Hell that that was something he wanted to do, but it was never really clarified why that was his mission. So it appears that Mizor basically uses him as her personal assassin, and for her own reasons, she wants to kill Karlach. Probably because Karlach escaped from slavery, right? So this is probably a deal or a favor she's doing for some other really, really evil character. All of you probably know by now, I love Wyll's arc. His character arc. I definitely plan to make him my first playthrough. I've never had an authentic warlock experience in a game where I, had a direct relationship with my patron and was able to talk with her. I think that's really, really cool. And it's going to be fascinating to see how that develops. I'm going to play as a good guy first, so I'll be romancing Karlach, but I'm really, really looking forward to also running it back and playing as evil Wyll and finding out what happens if you completely give in to Mazora. How does that relationship develop? How does it impact Wyll? And what sort of terrible things does she try to get you to do? I think all of this is absolutely fantastic. And I'm really curious to hear his new voice actor. I heard that in the animated film, Larian released that Wyll's new voice actor is in there. So I'm actually going to have to check that out, see if I like him any better than I did in the original early access. But yeah, I'm really excited about Wyll. Definitely going to be my first playthrough. Can't wait to see what Larian has done with his character. And then last on the list is Karlach, a barbarian and the fury of Avernus. Fresh escape from hell, Karlach is finally free of the archdevil Zerial, but not from the infernal engine Zerial planted in her chest. With her first taste of freedom in 10 years, Karlach is eager to find a fix for the engine that's burning hotter and hotter before it burns her out completely. But even more premier in her mind, exploring, finding like-minded travelers, falling in love or lust, and taking revenge on the man who sold her to Zerial all those years ago. Or lust. I wonder if she's one of the characters that is down for having multiple partners. If so, that makes my Wyll and Karlach first playthrough even more fantastic. Nice. Really, really looking forward to romancing her. Of course, the panel from Hell showcased her in a date and just some general conversation she had with an old friend. I think her voice acting is great. I think the character design is great. I think the arc that she appears to be going through is great from the standpoint of I'm really looking forward to being Wyll and saying, hey, I'm the person who's going to help you. I'll figure out how to make sure you're free forever and get vengeance upon the people who have wronged you so terribly. All of this absolutely works for me. I'm also a huge fan of barbarians. I love the idea of melee warriors who basically harness their anger in order to power themselves. So her class works for me as well. Just all the way around, this is really, really cool stuff. And I'm looking forward to being able to play with her in early access. So that is the list of the origin characters that they have. Of course, the Dark Urge isn't really here because you already know everything you would need to know about the Dark Urge simply from watching the panel from Hell. There's nothing more to explain there, at least not anything more that wouldn't probably come off like spoilers or things that people wouldn't want to know before playing the game. So I think it's really cool that they added these additional explanations here. It gives you just enough to want to play these characters without making you feel like you already know everything that's going to happen. So obviously, can't wait for this game. Really, really looking forward to getting the full version of it in my hands and experiencing it with all of you. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.